Okay, so good morning to one and all. Before I start with the lecture, I'll just give you this drive link. I hope that you have this drive link. Just wanted to show you that I have already uploaded the lecture videos over here. Okay, so you just have to open the link. In that same link, I have given you the lecture videos. So it is like, part wise, the lectures what we have taken. So it is not like one video for one chapter. Okay, so there are number of, I think 13 videos are there in this particular folder. So I just go one by one. If you have any doubt even after the lecture videos, just let me know. But that doesn't mean that you are going to skip your classes. Just remember you have defaulter list also. Okay, so please don't force us to stop this kind of things, by providing videos and all. It is just meant for revising your concepts, nothing else. Okay, so just have these videos, and again if you want to listen to it you can listen, and after that if you are having any doubt you can ask me. Okay, and I have already uploaded your chapter 6 notes over here. I'll just upload the PPT today. If just I'm going to finish it today, so I'm just going to upload it after the lecture. Okay, so till now whatever we are going to study, it is all there in the link. You just have to study. Most probably by tomorrow we are finishing with your complete unit 1. Okay, so tomorrow we'll just go with the chapter 5, and we'll just try to finish everything tomorrow from unit 1. Okay, so now I'll switch to the PPT, which we have to start it today, the last chapter of your unit 1, that is your unit 6, where we have stopped yesterday. That was your prepared statement. We have seen the example for that, and I just hoping that you are all studying whatever contents have been provided to you all from that. Okay, so please go through. If you have any doubt you can just ask me if anything. Okay, so I think these all things we have completed. Now simply I'll go to the callable statement. We have to see the example also for this. So we have seen three types of interfaces. That first is your statement interface, second one is your prepared statement, and third is your callable statement. Okay, so when we talk about the first two interfaces, we have seen the example also, and we have understood the difference between the statement interface and the prepared statement interface. Okay, now the third one is what your callable statements. So why callable statement are being used? I told you that it is going to be used to call the procedure functions and the stored procedures and the functions. Now, these stored procedures and functions are being created in your databases. Okay, so for example, you are using MySQL. So I am going to create the procedures and the functions in your database, and I am going to use it again and again what I have created in my database. So you will understand these terms, again and again using the same thing, the stored procedures. Even if you don't know what stored procedures are, I am going to teach you that today also. Okay, now, what do you mean that, see, for example, I have something called it as a procedure. A procedure is something we can say one, structure in the database which I am creating it. And that structure I don't have to recreate it whenever I am going to have the another type of database or the another type of table. Say, for example, I'm creating a table, say for example, ABC. Create table ABC. Okay. So what I have done, I have created one table called as ABC. Instead, what I have to do is I have to create a procedure. So create procedure, procedure name. So for example, create procedure ABC. Now what I am doing, I am replacing create table statement by create procedure statement. Okay. What will be the advantage? Now, in create table statement, for example ABC, in that, say for example, I'm going to have two parameters. One will be your employee ID and one will be your employee name. Okay, now I can insert the values into that particular table only, that is ABC, which I have created with that two parameters. Okay, two columns. Now if I don't want to create a specifically the column for one table, what I can do is I can create a procedure. Say for example, create procedure ABC, and I will create two parameters, two columns inside this, this procedure. Now, whatever I have created the columns inside the procedure, it can be used in n number of tables. That means I can call that procedure in n number of tables where I can insert the n number of values. So that means I don't have to create again and again that same columns, that same table. Okay, what I can do, I can carry the columns from there and I can put the values into one of my table. Okay, so now just we will understand with more example if you're not even getting this one. Okay, so we just have to understand we have a syntax whenever we deal with the callable statement. That method is your prepare call method. So that method comes from your connection interface. Okay, so we are going to use that method, and what is the syntax of using that? You're going to write a statement, callable statement interface name. You will have a method name over here, and inside the bracket what you are going to do, you're going to have a keyword called call, and whatever procedure you have created, you have to call that procedure name in your callable statement. So no matter from where you are getting the data, it just if you have created in your procedure, you can call it in any of the callable statement. If any of the, you can say the, if you want to insert new values, you can call it n number of times. So I have a call keyword over here and I have a procedure name over here. So procedure name can be anything. Okay. And then I have a question mark. What question mark stands for, we'll see in the example. Okay. Now we'll switch to the example. What we are doing over here, first of all, we are going to create a procedure. Okay, so what is the syntax for creating a procedure? Create or replace procedure, procedure name. Okay, so this whole thing is the syntax. So don't worry about that, from where it is all coming. So if you want to create a procedure, you just have to write what? Create or replace procedure, and you can give anything, any name, procedure name. Okay, so यहाँ पे हमने क्या दिया हुआ है? Insert R. Fine. Now in the procedure, what I am trying to do is I'm trying to create two parameters over here. Okay, that is what? First of all, your ID, and I'm saying that I'm going to use a parameter, call it as what? In. So if you remember yesterday when we studied about, in brief what callable statements are, we know that there are three parameters. One is in parameter, one is out parameter, and one is in out parameter. And when we talk about the in parameter, so in parameter has been used for what? For taking the inputs. Okay, out parameter means what? For giving the response, and in out means both. Fine. So when we talk about here, say for example, I'm creating a variable called as, or a column called as ID. So I am saying that whatever values are going to come in the column field is going to be in which form? Number form. Okay. Similarly, I'm saying that if I am having a name column, so in which form the values are going to come in? It is going to come in the form of varchar. Okay, in the form of strings, in the form of text. Okay, so now here what I'm going to do is I'm creating a procedure. Okay, what is the syntax for that? Create or replace procedure, procedure name, you can give anything, and in that I'm creating two columns, ID and name, also specifying in which form it is going to take the value. For that need you have to mention which keyword? In keyword. Okay, and then again you have a syntax is that is begin. Okay, so this much you have to write, and after that you have to write a query. Fine. So which query I am writing over here? That is your insert query. Considering that my table which I have created where I want to insert the values, okay, that values are going to get into the table, call it as what? User 420. Okay, so insert into user 420 values, and just calling what? ID comma name. So what will happen? Whenever you are going to get or accept the value for this ID and name, okay, say for example in ID column I have total 10 IDs which already been there, and I am having almost 10 values for the name, employee name. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to put all the values from this particular procedure to the table, call it as what? User 420. So simply what I have to do, I have to call the column names over here. Okay, similarly, say for example I have created a table called ABC. So what I'll do, insert into ABC values, and if I just want the ID column from the procedure, I can simply call it as what? ID. Okay, so I hope you are all understanding this. What we have done over here is we have created a procedure and we have accepted the values in which format we want to, we have mentioned it, and we have accepted the values also. Now what is required, we will just going to use that columns into our tables. Okay, so what is the format for doing that? Insert into table values, the way you do it for the insert statement. And instead of passing the values, what we are going to do, the already one which has been created, I just need to call it. Okay, so what you are going to do, id comma name. So if you want only id column, you can simply write id. Fine. So now here what is happening, the table structure which we have already created. What was the table structure? The table name was user 420. Okay, and in which format it was accepting the value of id, it is 10, and it is accepting the name in the form of varchar. Okay, so this is how you're going to use the procedure, and for that need you need a callable statement in your servlet. Fine. So if you want to call the procedure in your servlet, and you want to work with the procedures and the functions in your servlet, and you want that in your servlet through the procedure only the value should get inserted into your table, so you have a statement called as callable statement. Okay, now we'll see the example. Now we have considered that we have a procedure called as insert r, and we have written the insert statement also. We are inserting the two columns, we are just calling the two columns directly from there. So that was your id and name. Okay, so now what we are doing, we are going to write a servlet file, and we are going to have a connection steps. So the very first thing what we are going to have is, we are going to have an sql dot star. Okay, we have created a class also, we have created a main method also over here, and we are throwing an exception. I told you why we are throwing an exception again and again, that if at all any exception is getting occurred between your connectivity to your database, then it is going to give the respective exception to you so that you can work on it. Okay, and you can solve it, you can create your own exceptions also. I hope everyone knows about it. Okay, so now the first step which we have completed, that is your importing the SQL package. Second step is what? The very important, that is your registration of your JDBC driver of a specific database. So we have seen how the MySQL can be registered. We can also see that how Oracle has been, how we can register the Oracle also. What is the syntax for that? Class dot for name. So this method is meant for what? For registering your JDBC driver. Currently which database we are using it? Oracle. Okay, so there is a defined JDBC driver of your Oracle database. So this is what? Oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle driver. Okay, so this is a defined JDBC driver you have. You don't have to make any changes into this. You cannot add or delete anything from here. Simply you have to write it. So that means we are just registering the database or JDBC driver over here in this program. Now, the next step which comes is what? Your connection class. Okay, so in this connection, what we used to do, we just check whether the JDBC driver to which we are connecting is been registered or not, is been listed in your driver manager or not. And if it is, then it is going to call from the driver manager, and it will try to get the connection to that JDBC driver using some credentials which we are going to provide it. Okay, so we are going to have a connection class over here. We are going to have a driver manager where the JDBC driver has been listed, and we are trying to get connect to that JDBC driver, and we are going to use some credentials saying that. So if, for example, if I want to connect to the Oracle database, okay, so I have a URL format for the Oracle. So like in the last lecture, we have seen how we have an URL format for your MySQL database. Okay, so in that we had separate, different URL format for MySQL. Here we have a different format, URL format for the Oracle. Okay, so now here, what is the URL format for the Oracle? JDBC colon Oracle colon, then at the rate you are going to have a host name. What is the host name you have? Localhost. What is the port number you have given? 1521. And then what is the database name you have? XE. Okay, and for this database, what is the username? I told you by default it's root, but if you change it, then it is going to be that username what you have provided. Okay, so for this database, what is the username now? System. And what is the password? That is your Oracle. Fine, this is your third way of having the connection method. Okay, we had a three ways of having the get connection. That first is having one parameter, second one is having two parameter, and third is having three parameters. Okay, so in that, three parameter means first parameter defines the URL format of the specific database, second parameter is going to define me the username, and third parameter is going to define me the password. Fine. Now once this connection is going to happen, so we are just assuming now we have been connected to the Oracle database, and in the Oracle, which database we are trying to connect to? That is XE. What are the credentials for connecting to that database? Is your system and Oracle. System is your username and Oracle is your password. Now, once the connection is built, what is the next statement? We have to put some data into my table, okay, into the database called as XE, where table has been created, and that table name is user 420. Okay, so now we just wanted to work with the procedure statement, or we can say callable statement. Okay, so in callable statement, we know that it is going to work with the stored procedures and functions. So first of all, we have to understand the syntax of your callable statement. So it is very similar to your statement interface and your prepared statement interface. What was the syntax for that? We used to create the statement object equals to the object of your previous class, that is your connection class, dot create statement. That was for your statement interface. When we talk about the prepare statement, so what we had a prepared statement object, again con dot method name, and then we had a parameters. Okay, now here what has been replaced, in place of prepared statement we are going to write a callable statement. Okay, so callable statement, the object name is equals to the object of which class? Connection class. Now here similarly the other two statements were having their own methods to work with the database. Here also for the callable statement we have a method called it as what? Prepare call. Okay, so this method is going to help me to have my queries into the database which I want to fire it. Fine. So now here what is going to happen? We saw in the syntax, then that is inside the prepare call which keyword we are going to use, that is call keyword. So what was the syntax? Call procedure name, right? If you don't remember, I'll just go back, see here. So callable statement, we are going to create an object for this. We are going to use a method called as prepare call, and we are going to use a keyword called call, and then we have a procedure name. Okay, so we'll just go back there and we'll see whether it is the same syntax we are following or not. So we have a callable statement, we have an object, we have invoke the method called as prepare call using the con object. Why we are invoking with the help of con object? In the definition only told you that the prepare call is a method from the connection interface, and it is helping the callable statement, or you can say prepared statement, or you can say the statement interface, to have the instance of this particular interfaces which we are creating. Okay, maybe it is statement interface or prepared statement or a callable statement, everyone needs their own instances to get, work with this. So we are just using the methods of your connection interface. That's why we need the connection object, because it is coming from there. Fine. So now in this method, what we are saying, we are using the keyword called as call, and what is the procedure name we have created? Insert R. Fine. Now why the question mark? I told you in the prepared statement also, it is meant for the dynamic inputs which we are going to take from the client. Okay, and why only two question mark? Because we are going to have only two columns which we are going to create it inside a procedure. Fine. So that was your ID and name. So we first column is going to represent what your ID, and the second one is going to represent to you the name. Okay. Now simply what we have to do, we have to put the values. Now how we are going to put that? We are going to use the object. Okay, callable statement object dot. Now what is going to have? We are going to have a method called as set int, like the way we have used it in our prepared statement. That means we have to insert the values, we have to put the values into the rows which we are going to have it, and the columns which we are having already, that is your ID and name. So the first one is going to represent your first column, where I'm going to put the ID number as what? 1011. Second column is what? Taking the string value, because we have defined as varchar, so it is going to be set string. This is going to represent your second column, and this is going to be your value for that second column. Okay, and after that what we have to do is we just have to have one method, like in prepared statement we had an execute update method, if you remember. So if you want to update your rows from your empty row to the filled row, we execute and we have a method. For here, for the callable statement, which method we are having? Execute method. Okay, so prepared statement we had an execute update method. For callable statement we have what? Execute method. And for simply statement interface we had an execute query method. Fine. So this is how we are going to use all the three methods. For statement interface we are having execute query method. For prepared statement we had an execute update method, and for the callable we are going to use an execute method. Okay, so once the values are been inserted, or once the rows are being updated, with the values which we are trying to insert using the procedure, it is going to give me a message called as what? Success. Fine. Now, what is the use of it? We have created a callable statement, we have created a procedure, and inside that procedure we have given the values. Now I know that in my procedure I am having the values which is already been filled. Okay, and I have a table. Say for example, there will be 5 tables. Okay, and in that 5 tables I am having the use of first 2 column which I have already created in my procedure, so I don't need to have to create that again. Okay, what I can do is I can simply call the procedure in my, or the column name in the procedure which is there, I can call it directly into my table. Okay, while having that insert statement. So I have shown you that how we can do that. If you see over here, so what I can write, insert into the table name values, and which column I want to insert into the table, that we have written over here. Fine. So here, whenever you're going to create a table, create the table, create the parameters also, but don't insert the values for these parameters. You can directly, inherit, or you can take the value from the procedure which you have already created. Okay, so this is how your callable statement is going to work. And when we talk about closing the callable statement, what object you are going to use? The object of your callable statement, whichever you want to create it. You can give any name to the object of the callable statement interface. The only thing is that it is having the same reason. We are going to explicitly clean all the resources which we are going to occupy during our programs. Okay, and that is going to be done with the help of your close method. So whatever callable statement object you have created, say for example csempty, so csempty dot close, so it will just clean up all the resources which you have occupied it. So this is something been, we can say, cleaning up the resources explicitly. Okay, when we talk about implicitly, it is been done by your JVM. Fine. So because we know that we have an automatic garbage collection, so it's a good habit that we can have the explicit cleaning the resources. Fine. Now last thing, that is your servlet GUI and the database. I'll just have one example and we are just going to end with this chapter. Okay, and while just when I'm going to end this chapter, I need question students whether you have understood or not. Let it be interactive. Okay, so if you're not getting anything, just let me know after that. Fine. Now, when we talk about the one simple example of your servlet GUI in the database, what we are going to have, first of all, we are going to have a servlet page, okay? And then we'll have the database connectivity. So in servlet page, what is the most important thing is required? That is your SQL dot star. Okay, that is why, because we wanted to have the classes and the interfaces from the SQL package. And I have created my user defined class. I have my main method over here. Whatever you're going to write, you're going to write it in try and catch block, because we are going to work with the exceptions also. Okay, so now the very first task which comes after creation of your class is what? Registration of your JDBC driver. So in this chapter we have seen both the ways, how you're going to work with the Oracle and how you're going to work with the MySQL. But if you'll ask me, the only suggestion which I can give you, don't go with the Oracle, just go with the MySQL. It is open source, freely downloadable, also lightweight comparatively or Oracle. Oracle is itself a very heavy weighted or database. So when you don't have much requirement, much expectation from the database, what you are going to do for your project, it is not even, the 5 to 10% what exactly the applications are requiring the database. So don't think that you are creating something, out of this world and you need a big databases. Ultimately, it will crash your machine, nothing else. Fine. So just go with those type of database who are lightweighted. If you talk about the Android applications, you can go with the SQLite. Okay, and if you are just working with any of the the technology called as maybe .NET or the Java, so just go with the lightweighted databases available. Fine. Okay, so here we know that we have imported the SQL package. Now we are going to have the registration, that is using the class.forName method. What is the JDBC driver of your MySQL? That is com.mysql.jdbc.driver. So if you'll see Oracle and the MySQL, even you'll find it very much simpler, JDBC driver name and then URL format. Comparatively, it is very simple, like better than your Oracle. So you'll be able to remember more about your MySQL. Okay, so this is a JDBC driver. So we just said that using the method. Now we want to use this JDBC driver in our program. After that, what we are going to do, we are going to have a connection interface, which I am creating an object for it and just checking into the driver manager. So, the JDBC driver, which I'm trying to call into my program, whether it has been listed or not into this driver manager. And if it is listed, assuming that it has been listed, so what we are going to do, we are just going to get connect to that particular JDBC driver, which we have already listed in our driver manager. And getting that connection needs some URL format, some credentials. What is the URL format of your MySQL? JDBC, MySQL, host name, port number. So what is the host name we are given? Localhost. What is the port number we have given? 3306. And then we have a database name. Okay. You can give any database name, whichever you are going to create the database, you have to define that in whichever database you want to work. So if you have 5 database, so it's not like that, all the 5 databases are going to have the same name. Define any one database name here with the credentials. So by default, what is the username? Root. The password is also, which I kept it, is what? Root. You can give anything, any password. Okay. Now, once the import statement is done, once the registration with class.forName is done, once the connection interface we have used it, next which comes is your statement. Okay. Now here, as per your requirement, that what type of queries you wanted, you have to use the types of statement interfaces over here. Currently in this program, which type of, what you can say, the queries I want a static query. Okay, so that's why simply I'm sticking to one particular interface, that is what your statement interface. Even I can go with the prepared statement, because prepared statement is supporting both static and dynamic. Okay, but not to create much complexity in the program, when I am having a simpler way to use the static queries, I can go with the statement interface. And if you want to have a dynamic responses and dynamic values, like the way we have done it in the last lecture, that using the insert queries, I was having 4 question marks which was showing me about the 4 columns. I can take the values directly from client, which is going to directly get it stored into the table which you have created. Okay, so that work we can do with the help of prepared statement, because there is some complexity level is going to increase. Fine. So here I just wanted to have a static query. So what I am going to have a simpler statement interface. I am just going to create an object. I have to use the statement method, that is your create statement method, which is again a method coming from the connection interface. That's why I'm going to use an object of your connection interface for invoking that method, and it is going to help me to create an instance of your statement interface. Fine. So that's why we have written that statement. Now, once we have done this statement, I don't want to have any type of, you can say creation or alteration. As I told you that statement interface is been majorly working with the DDL language statements. So that can be your creation, alteration, or dropping. So that all thing we don't want to do it over here. That's why we are keeping it blank. Okay. Then we have a result set interface. Why we are using it result set? Because we want to execute some query. Okay, we want to execute some query, and that is going to be your select query. That is going to be a static query. When we have studied about the methods and the interfaces, that time also I told you that your result set interface is specifically and majorly going to work for the select statement. Okay, and here in the result set, what we are doing, again we are having the object equals to, we are using the object of which interface, your statement interface, saying that the execute query is a method of your statement interface which needs to get invoked, and that invocation is only been done with the help of an object of your statement interface, and it is going to help me to have the instance of my result set interface. Okay, so creating of this instance need what, this particular object, and also if I want to execute any static query, one method is required which is going to come from the statement interface. So that is what your execute query method. Which query I'm just going to file it over here is select star from EMP, considering that EMP is your table. Okay, so what we have done it over here, we are simply just want to see the values which is already there in your EMP table. Fine, and I have told you that why next method is being used. So the pointer is going to point to the very first row, where it is going to see the first row value is going to display that value. Okay, again you're going to have the same condition, it is going to point to the second row, it is going to have the again the whole row value. So this is how it is going to display all the values row by row in your client page. Okay, now The first thing which I am going to invoke is what? Which type of value I'm going to get invoked? It is your integer value that is coming from your first column. Second is going to be the string value which is coming from your second column, and the third value is again going to be your string value coming from the third column. So it can be your ID, employee name, and the address. Okay, and simply what we have to do is we have to just close the connection class. Okay, so it is not just closing your connection class, close all the interfaces which you have created. Okay, now just a brief. I hope the example you have understood. We have taken number of examples to get understand with the concepts of the database connectivity interfaces, what is required whenever we will have the connectivity with a database. So we'll just have a brief over here. So first step is what you have to load your database driver that is inside your driver manager. Once you have loaded, what you have to do is you have to switch to the connection interface, and you are going to connect to the database driver using which method? Get connection method. And it is going to have a specific method called as close method. Now, next is what is your statement interface. So in statement interface, what is going to have? We are going to have a method called it as what? Create statement method. This method is of connection interface, but it is been going to invoke with the help of connection object, and it also going to help me to have an instance of your statement interface. Okay, where you have an option to insert, update, and delete. You can update the rows whichever you want to update it. So you can have an insert, you can have a statement interface. So here why insert, update, delete options are available, because we have types also, that is your prepared statement which is going to support all these three, and that is required execute update method. Similarly, I have a callable statement which is going to work for me for the procedures and the functions. So there I am going to have simply execute method. Okay, now the third thing which comes is your result set interface, which is specifically and completely going to work with your select statement, and it is going to have a method called as what? Execute query method. Always remember, we have to close the result set, statement, connection interfaces, everything for the cleaning up the resources. Fine. Also, what we are going to have a method called as next method, that is just a pointing to your rows, and it is going to get the data. It is going to get the data from row by rows. So we are going to get the values to our client when we are going to use a next method. Okay, so this diagram is a brief what we have done it in the last 4 to 5 lectures. Now, summing up your chapter, that is when we want to create a JDBC application, what all thing is required? Importing the packages, registering the JDBC driver, opening a connection by using the get connection method. We are going to execute the queries by using your statement interface. We are going to extract the data also from your result set. Okay, that is your result set interface. And then we are going to clean up in the all environment which we have occupied by using the close method. Okay, so this is how you're going to work with your JDBC and the JDBC application. Now here we are ending, and I'm just going to get one quick revision. So not in detail, there's no need, because number of times we have revised it. We started with this chapter. Okay, the chapter name was your Java database connectivity. So if anyone have skipped it, so please listen to it carefully. What JDBC are, I've told you, it's a Java standard. It's like one type of written program or one type of a software which is there in your development kit, whose main purpose it is going to provide the interface for connecting Java to the relational databases. Okay, what all tasks the JDBC library is going to do? It is going to have number of APIs, which is going to do number of tasks for connection, for creating SQL queries, executing those SQL queries, viewing and modifying the records. This is all the task of your JDBC library. What is the design of your JDBC? It's first of all, we are going to see the diagram, which is very important. Instead of going all this theoretical part, we have a JDBC structure. So we have an application, we have a JDBC API, which is a neutral API. So here in the JDBC driver manager, what is going to happen? It is going to list and register all the JDBC driver of the different databases. Okay, so that it is going to understand all the databases. So we are platform independent. Basically, we are database independent. Irrespective whichever databases we want to connect to, Java is going to get the connection, because it is having the neutral API to do that task for the Java application. Okay, After that, we also studied about the ODBC driver, why the ODBC driver is not being used, or comparatively your JDBC. We know that ODBC is still having the advantages over the JDBC, that it is not going to depend on the database driver like the JDBC driver we require from the databases in terms of JDBC. Here the ODBC driver is itself is going to do all the tasks, but still we are not depending on this, because it is very much useful for the native languages like a C, C++, also working for Java. But the JDBC is specifically created and meant for the Java language, so it is not going to work for the any other languages. The only difference and the only requirement of JDBC was the Java application. When we try to work with the ODBC, the performance and the platform dependency is going to come into the picture. So which we wanted to remove it. We want the good performance when I talk about the web application, which I am going to make it in Java. Okay, and there is no platform dependency at all. So it is going to be platform independent, as our program is platform independent. Fine. And JDBC is completely an object oriented. That's why we are sticking to the JDBC for our Java applications. Now, when we talk about the JDBC architecture, simply I'll show you that diagram. You can understand more. We have a Java application which needs a neutral API, that is your JDBC API. We are going to have a JDBC driver manager who is going to work with the different JDBC driver of the different databases. Okay. We had a very common JDBC components, which you have, heard about it in throughout this chapter in the lectures. So we have a driver, so which is going to allow me to have the communication with the databases. We are going to have a driver manager who is going to have the list of JDBC drivers. We are having a connection interface connecting the databases using all the possible methods. We have a statement interface which is going to submit all the SQL statements to a database, which comes along with two more types, that is a prepared statement and callable statement. Result set interface, which is going to hold the data which is going to be retrieved from your database by firing the select query. And then finally we had an SQL exception. If at all any error occurs during the communication, we are going to get with the help of this SQL exception class. Then we had the JDBC driver types. First is your JDBC ODBC bridge driver. Why it is being used? Considering that we are not going to have the JDBC driver from the specific database which I want to use it. So what I can do is I can simply use the database using the ODBC driver, because we know that ODBC driver is not at all dependent on the database driver at all. So it is itself having its own driver which is going to work with any type of database. So it is a database independent driver. So basically we are going to have one more API, one more software in between, that is JDBC ODBC bridge driver, which will convert the conversation of your ODBC driver, which is going to get from the database, to your Java application, which understands only the JDBC driver. Okay. And then comes your advantages and disadvantage. We have discussed it enough. Then second type was your JDBC native API, which is going to have, we wanted to replace that JDBC ODBC bridge driver. So what we had an API driver, that is your native API. Again, considering that your database is not having JDBC driver, so what we are doing, we are having a software component in between, which is going to change the API language from one database which is not having JDBC to the Java application which is having the JDBC. Then we came across with the third type, that is a JDBC Net Pure Java. Okay, it is require a network socket in between your Java application and the database. So what is going to happen, the network protocol driver is being installed into your client machine, which is going to communicate with your middleware. And in the middleware you're going to have the servlet programs, like server side programs. Okay. Then we had the last one, that is your 100% pure Java driver, that is your thin driver, which is something also been called it as what your JDBC driver. Okay, so simply what you have to do is you can directly connect to your database. Only requirement is that the JDBC driver should get it installed into your Java application before you use it. Okay, that too considering that your database is supporting the JDBC driver. We know that why and which one we have to use it. So we have learned this. So just go through once. This whole steps we are repeating again and again in every program. We have done that. Okay, registration, importing, database URL formation, that is creating the connection object, statement interface, result interface, that all. Okay, and how we are going to import it, that we all know now. Import java.sql.star is a package which is must. For registration, what is been required? Two approaches we have learned. First approach is saying that using the method called as class.forName, considering that driver manager is, or we can just consider that we are having the JDBC driver for the particular database. Okay. Then we have a second approach, considering that we have not been listing, or we have not listed the JDBC driver of any database into the driver manager. So we can do that first part, just register or list into the JDBC, or we can say the driver manager, and then start using it. Then we had a database URL formation, that we have three ways to do that using the get connection method. And in throughout the example, we have used it third one. Okay. And where every database connectivity needs two things. One is JDBC driver name and the URL format. And we have used it enough in the examples. How you're going to create a connection object, I hope everybody knows it. We have seen all the three ways: the database URL with username and password, okay, and with only the string URL or a database URL where the username and password can be integrated in one statement. Then we have also seen how we are going to have the URL and the properties. Okay, how we can close the JDBC connection, that is using your close method. Then we are having this statement interface, how you're going to create an object of your statement interface. I hope you all remember, for creating an instance or an object of statement interface, you need a method called as create statement, and that method comes from your connection interface. That's why we have to use a connection object to invoke that method. Okay. Then we had two more types, that is prepared statement and callable statement. So statement interface is that it is going to be used for creating these static SQL queries. We have seen this example in detail, almost taking 35 to 40 minutes to explain to you this program. So I just hope that you have understood. Okay, so all the steps we have followed while having this database connectivity. We had a prepared statement which is being used for dynamic SQL queries. In the last lecture only we have seen this. So instead of statement interface, what we are using, prepared statement name. And here what we are doing, we are having the insert queries which is carrying 4 question mark, indicating that we having 4 column where I want to put the values. Okay. And then we had a callable statement which we have studied today. We have 3 parameters, that is in parameter, out parameter, and in out parameter. We have seen this difference between statement, prepared statement, and callable statement. So in short, data or statement is the base interface or a parent interface which needs to be get extended into your prepared and the callable statement. Okay. Statement interface is being used for executing query only once, but in prepared it can happen multiple times. And your callable statement is being used for procedures and functions, which is clearly saying that I can use the things, repetitively from the created procedure. I don't have to recreate it everything whenever I want to create a table or I want to insert the values. Okay. In comparatively, all three callable statement is having better performance, because here you don't have to create the things again and again. This we have seen how to create a statement object. We have seen these methods, that is your execute method, execute update method, and execute query method. Execute method simply works with your DDL statement. Execute update method works with your insert, update, and delete method, delete statement. And execute query is going to specifically work with your select statement. How you're going to close your statement object, just use the object name of your select statement interface and close method. And then we have this prepared statement object, how to create a prepared statement object. I hope you all know this. We're just simply going to use the object of your connection interface, because the method is from the connection interface. So that's why we have to create, we have to use the method, we have to use the object of the connection interface to create an instance of your prepared statement interface. These three methods we have used it in all possible programs. How you're going to close your prepared statement, just use a close method. And this what we have started, in the studying in today's lecture, that is your callable. We have learned about the syntaxes also. So in this, which method is important, that is your prepare call method is important. What is the syntax of calling any procedure which we have created? Call procedure name. Okay, so simply what we have to do, we just have to create or replace, we have to create a procedure. What is the syntax for creating procedure? That is create or replace procedure, procedure name, and we're going to have the column names which we want to create it. Simply we can use this columns names whenever we want to insert any values into any specific table. Just call that column name. Simply it will have all the values from that column to your table. Okay, so we have seen this example also today, and then lastly we just ended with your one basic program of your database connectivity. This is a brief picture. Just go with this only, you can understand much better that all the interfaces which we are going to use for the database connectivity. And finally, this is what you're summing up JDBC application, how you're going to have a JDBC application. Okay, so here I am just ending the lecture, and we have completed your chapter 6 of your unit 1. And if you have any doubts, students, you can just ask me. I'll by that time just put the attendance link in your chat box. So if you have any doubt in this, just let me know. Almost 5 lectures I have taken to complete this particular chapter. Generally, even in the colleges, I don't take much more than 2 to 3 lectures to finish this. But we have time so that we can go with examples so that you can understand it more. Fine. So I'm trying my best to make you understand. So at least you can have doubts. You should have doubts. At least let me know if you don't understand anything. Okay. So putting the link into the chat box, just don't run away. I'll take the screenshot. I'll let you know when you have to go.